Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling. Today we are celebrating Christmas in July. Well, I think it's more like winter in July for me. And I'm going to be making something you can only make in the winter, and that, of course, is a snowman. So we're going to be making a snowman in July, and I'm going to name him Chili. Let's get started.
But before we get started, I would like to thank Lisa from Our Gray House, Sarah from Juju Bee DIY for hosting, and Monica from Up All Night DIY for guest hosting this month's First Friday Open Challenge. You will find the links to their fabulous channels in this playlist in the description box below. We are starting this project with a resale shop find. It's a bottom of a little music box or something. There was a defective mechanism inside, which I have already removed, and some scrap foam. Like all traditional snowmen, Chili will have 3 sections to his body, and I'm going to trim the bottom of each section so that it sits smoothly on the section below. All 3 layers are trimmed the way I need them to be. I need to affix him to the base, and I'm going to use just a dowel rod to do so. But before I can do that, I need to put something inside this little wood pedestal to hold that dowel rod in place. So I am simply unscrewing the bottom where that mechanism was at one time, and I am going to fill it with more of my scrap bits of foam. Because, as we know, I keep everything. I reattach the back, and then it is ready so I can dowel my snowman. I had previously cut my dowel down so it wasn't so long, and I have stuck it into the foam inside the little pedestal. And now I'm just adding other pieces of scrap foam around the base so that it is much more sturdy. I glue all 3 layers onto my dowel rod. He's really starting to look like a little snowman. Gotta hold him tight though, make sure he dries nice and firm, and then we could head for the next step. It's time to make this foam man look more like a snowman. So I am taking some simple white sand that I got at the Dollar Tree and some glitter that I got at Wal Mart. It's just white glitter, and I'm combining them. This simple mixture will become his outer layer. This will become his snow. Now that we have our snow mixture, I am air quoting my snow mixture, complete, we're going to cover him in snow. And for this, we're going to use Mod Podge. I don't use Mod Podge often, but when I do it big time. And we are just gonna glob the shenanigans of this Mod Podge all over our little snowman. And then we're going to just shake on with a spoon the snow covering until his entire body is covered. Once he is totally covered, I will let him dry overnight.
While Chili's snow is drying, we need to make him some facial features and some accessories.
We will be starting with Chili's nose. I'm cutting some wire, and I'm using a little foam carrot that I got at Easter time at the dollar store, and I'm removing the little green whatever off of. I eat carrots all the time. You would think I would know what that was called. And I'm gonna hot glue in my wire into the little carrot, and then I'm gonna paint it pumpkin orange, which is a little more muted than that fluorescent orange. And now I'm taking my scissors and I'm gently adding in, just with little squeezes. I'm not cutting all the way through, but I'm making indentations like a real carrot has, so it's a little more realistic. while Chili's nose is drying, I'm going to be making little tiny cool pieces to form his little tiny mouth. I'm using quilter's pins, and so I can paint them properly, I'm just jabbing them into some packing materials. And I'm going to get them all set up. And then we're going to add paint. The way I'm creating the look of coal, tiny coal, is by using dimensional fabric paint. And on the top of the quilter head of the pin, I am just putting like a little dot, and then right next to it another little dot. And I'm sorry you can't see this very well, but I had a cat in my face, and excuses. Little tiny dot and little tiny dot, until I got them all covered where they looked very dimensional and very miniature coal-like. And now we need to make our little snowman a hat. And the situation is, how do you make him a hat? So probably many ways. This little thing is an escutcheon plate, and it's made to set down on top of a sprinkler. Actually, you would set it up into the ceiling. But when I flipped it upside down, I thought, that looks like a hat. So I'm going to simply trace it onto some corrugated, and I'm going to cut it out. And we are going to glue this into the top of this escutcheon plate. And voila! We have a hat. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up. I need to take that tag off of it, which will be fun. And then we need to paint it. But then once again, voila! You have a hat. This wired branch will become Chili's arms. It's very pliable and looks realistic. These thrifted socks with a little Christmas pattern will become his scarf. And these skates, these little ice skates, I got on clearance at Wal Mart at the end of the season last year. And so Chili's gonna have some skates. These are some random miscellaneous greenery that I very well might use. Not sure yet. We'll see how this all comes together. So I cut up that sock, and just avoiding the heel and the toe because I didn't want any white showing. And I am just hot gluing a little scarf. I mean, I could have sewed it, but hey, you gotta love hot glue, except for the strings. They get everywhere. Chili's little base is way too white. There's a lot of white on this, and it's just too much. So I'm going to add a little bit of color to the base. Now, you will notice that I have a ribbon on Chili's hat at this point. That goes away, so when you see him at the end, it's a little bit different. And I also gave him a nose job. Yes, Chili's little nose had a little bit of surgery. So now I'm just using some flat paint to take kind of that plasticky, shiny look off my greenery. One last final detail. I have a tiny paper mache box that I am painting a beautiful celery green. And then I will enhance it even more with a little bit of decorative painting.
All the little final touches are complete. I just need to finish assembly, and then we'll take a look at our sweet little Chili.
Here he is, a little anomaly, a snowman in July. You can see how I have him holding a little gift basket full of gingerbread men and muffins and candy. And there's that little sweet little gift box that we hand painted. And you can see his skates. I dulled down the glitter a bit and added laces. And there's his scarf out of a sock. I really am happy with little Chili. He's little but mighty. I have to turn the air on so he doesn't melt. And there's his hat out of an escutcheon cap. Once again, I'd like to thank Lisa, Sarah, and Monica for hosting and co-hosting this month's First Friday Open Challenge. And don't forget to check out their channels and the playlist. Remember, the links are in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Share it with your family and friends and anyone that likes design, decor, and Christmas, and even winter. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and check out my brand new shop on Etsy. You can show your support by subscribing, so don't forget to subscribe. And once again, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.